Welcome back to our webinar series. My name is Heather Barthelmess, and I am the Marketing Manager for MET here at the Michigan Department of Treasury. In today's webinar, we are going to discuss how to use your MET. If you are getting ready to graduate from high school or are a recent graduate, this session will guide you through how to maximize the use of your MET contract. Whether you are planning to go to a Michigan public university, out-of-state school, or something else, we will give you information on the ways you can use your MET to help you reach your goals. If you have not already done so, you will want to create your online MET account. You, as the beneficiary or student, will want to create your own login. The purchaser and appointee listed on the contract can also have their own logins, but the beneficiary account gives you additional abilities. You will need your social security number and your contract number in order to create a username and password and set up multi-factor authentication. You can find a link to the account login page on our website, setwithmet.com. Once there, click on the Quick Links menu option, then the account login link. On the login page, if it is your first time accessing your account online, you will want to click on the link on the right-hand side of the page that says Register for Online Access. If you have already created a username and password, scroll to the bottom of the login page and enter that information there. Once you are logged in, you will be able to update your address, view contract information, view payment history, and activate or terminate your contract. We will talk more about what activating and terminating your MET mean in a moment. Your MET has a lot of possibilities. MET works best at a Michigan public college and university, but it can also be used at Michigan private colleges and out-of-state schools. If you are unsure of where you want to attend or don't plan on attending school after high school, you have other options. You must do something with your MET within 15 years of your expected high school graduation date. If you are planning on attending a Michigan public college or university and want to use your MET, you will need to complete the Notice to Use form. This form allows MET to notify your school of your available benefits. Typically, you will fill this form out once, and if you are planning to start using your MET for the fall semester, you will want to complete this form by June 1st. You can either complete this form electronically or by logging into your MET account online. Or you can complete the paper form and mail, email, or fax it to MET. Keep in mind, it is the beneficiary or student that must complete the Notice to Use form. If you have more than one contract, we suggest you complete the form to activate all of your contracts at once. When you do this, we will start pulling from your oldest contract first. Then, once depleted, it will roll into the next contract. This ensures you don't get any surprises midway through your college career, because if a contract is not included in the activation, your school won't know about it. So if you only activate one contract, you may end up receiving a bill from your school for tuition that could be covered by your unactivated contract. Make sure to include the correct semester on the Notice to Use form. If your school calls the January semester spring and you want to start using your MET for that semester, don't put down winter on the form. That may result in your contract information not being received by your school. If you have a full or limited benefits contract, and you can tell this by your contract number, if it has an L in the contract number, it is a limited benefits contract. If there is not a letter after the dash in the contract number, you have a full benefits contract. If you have this and you are going to attend a Michigan public college or university, MET will pay the university tuition and mandatory fees for however many credits you have on your contract. You don't need to worry about the dollar amount. Focus on the number of credits you are enrolled in and the number of credits you have available on your MET. Mandatory fees are the fees in which every student at the school has to pay, regardless of what classes they are enrolled in. MET does not cover lab fees, contact hour fees, and other course-specific fees. If you have a limited benefits contract, again, your contract would have a letter L in the number. If you have a limited benefits contract and you want to attend a school in which we consider above average costs, we will prorate the credits available on your contract. For the 2025-26 school year, those schools are the University of Michigan Ann Arbor and Michigan Tech University. If you are attending U of M this year, Met will prorate your contract to 28 credits for every 30 that were purchased. If you attend Michigan Tech, we will prorate your contract to 26 credits for every 30 purchased. If you attend any of the other Michigan public universities, you will be covered for the full number of credits purchased on your contract. If you have a full or limited benefits Met and want to attend a Michigan community college, Met will pay the in or out of district tuition costs and mandatory fees. If you have a community college contract and want to attend a Michigan public community college, Met will pay the in-district tuition and mandatory fees for the number of credits on your Met. Some of the Michigan universities have what they call block rate billing. This is where they charge the same amount for a range of credits, usually 12 to 18. Met benefits will be applied to the number of credit hours taken each semester as reported by the institution. Institutions which are on a block rate credit hour system will invoice Met for the block rate, but report the actual number of credits taken by the student. Met will deduct the actual credit hours reported from the student's Met. Finally, if you have a community college contract but want to attend a Michigan public university, you will need to terminate your contract to pay the school. We will talk more about what a termination means in a moment. Once you have completed the Notice to Use form, either online or by paper form, Met will activate your contract. We will notify your school of the available benefits. Fall semester notifications go out to the schools the first week of July. If you complete the Notice to Use form after the first week of July, Met will notify your school once we have completed our end of the activation. Please allow 1 to 2 weeks from the time you submit your form for your school to be notified. Once the school is notified, it is up to them to put a credit on your student account for the anticipated Met payment. I say anticipated payment because the school will not actually send us an invoice until after the drop add period. So if you change around your schedule, it should not impact your Met payment. Met will pay your school directly after receiving the invoice from the school. We will then deduct the number of credits you are enrolled in from your total Met credit balance. You will receive an email from Met once the payment is made on your behalf. This process will continue automatically each semester until you either run out of credits or until you tell us to stop. You will not need to complete another Notice to Use form. If you change schools and want Met to pay the new school, you will need to notify Met of the change. If you are planning on attending a Michigan private college or out-of-state college, you will need to terminate your Met for Met to make payments to your school. Termination is kind of a scary way of saying we will turn the credit hours on your contract into a dollar figure payable to the school. To terminate your Met contract, you can either complete the termination through your online Met account or by completing the Notice to Terminate form. We determine the dollar value of your contract based upon the type of contract you have, what type of school you are attending, and whether we pay the school directly or if you want the money to go back to the refund designee listed on the contract. You can find the breakdown of the value on the Manage Your Account page of our website. Please keep in mind, depending on the cost of your tuition, the funds available on your contract may be used quicker than the original number of semesters purchased. If you would like to spread out the Met payments to your school, you will need to work with the school to ensure they bill Met only for a portion of what is available each semester. If you terminate your contract and decide to transfer to a Michigan public college, your contract will stay in the dollar amount and will not convert back to credits. However, you can direct those dollars to whatever school you decide to attend. Once your contract is terminated to pay the out-of-state or Michigan private college, we will notify your school of the available benefits. If you are terminating for the fall semester, notifications go out the first week of July. For contracts terminated after that date, the notification will go out the first week of August. Once we send them the notification, it is up to the school to credit your account with the anticipated payment and send us an invoice. Please note there are a few out-of-state schools that will not invoice Met directly. If you are attending one of these schools, Met will notify you around the first week of July or August, depending on when you terminated your contract. You would then need to send Met a copy of your tuition bill, and we will send the payment to the school. Met only pays the school after an invoice is received, and we cannot pay a school for the fall semester prior to August 1st. Once a payment has been made to your school, you will receive an email confirmation of the payment. Like the Michigan Public Schools, many of the out-of-state schools and Michigan private schools will send Met the bill after the drop add period. Or if you see that payment on your school's bill, you should be all set. Please be aware that for private and out-of-state colleges, you will have a set dollar amount available. There is a good chance you will use that amount fully before you are finished with your degree. If you would like to have some available for future semesters, you would need to talk with your school and have them only invoice Met for a portion of what is available. For semesters after your initial Met contract use, you will not need to do anything else with Met. Each semester you have benefits available, we will notify the school of the available funds. If you are unsure of when the best time is to terminate your Met, whether you might want to transfer back to a Michigan public school or think you might want to transfer credit hours to another family member, call the Met office and one of our specialists can walk you through your options. If you are unsure of what your plans are for after graduation, that's okay. You do not need to do anything with your Met right now. You have 15 years from your expected high school graduation date to use your Met at school, transfer unused credits to a family member, or terminate your contract for a refund. If you are not planning on attending any schooling after high school, you can terminate your contract for a refund. A refund will be issued to the person on your contract listed as the refund designee. Most likely that is the person who purchased your contract. But when you log into your account online, you can verify who that person is. Please keep in mind, refunds that are not used for qualified higher education expenses will be subject to a 10% federal penalty and regular income taxes on the earnings portion of the refund. If you are not going to use all of your Met credits, you can transfer those to an immediate family member. That could be a sibling, cousin, even your own child someday. This will create a new contract for that beneficiary. If the new beneficiary is younger than you, they will get a new expiration date based upon their expected high school graduation year. So they do not need to be ready to use the Met to have the credits transferred to them. If you received a full scholarship or joined the military, you have options of what to do with your Met. You can wait and see if you will use the credits later, perhaps for graduate school. Keep in mind, if you use Met at grad school, Met will pay the upper level undergraduate rate, and you will get a bill from the school for whatever the difference is between that rate and graduate tuition rate. You could also transfer the credits to a family member, or you could terminate the contract for a refund. Again, the refund would be issued to the refund designee. The refund designee would have to pay taxes on the earnings portion of the refund. However, the 10% federal penalty would be waived for military or full scholarship. A partial scholarship is more likely to happen versus the full scholarship, though. In that case, the school could still bill Met for the full tuition and mandatory fees. And when Met pays the school, we will have overpaid since you had the partial scholarship. Then the school could apply the Met funds to other parts of your bill, like room and board or books, or they could refund it to the student as an overpayment. I know this is a lot of information to digest, and you can find more information on ways to use your Met on our website. On the Manage Your Account page, you will find lots of tools like our student guidebook and a worksheet to help you with how to fill out the FAFSA. You will also find videos to walk you through your online Met account creation and how to activate and terminate your contract online. If you are still unsure of what the best way is to use your Met, you can call us or schedule a virtual one-on-one appointment. To schedule an appointment, go to our website, setwithmet.com, and click on the Quick Links menu option. There you will find a link to our scheduling site. Senior year is a busy time and full of lots of decisions. Please know that we are here to help however we can. Thank you for joining me today. Please check out the other videos in our webinar series on our What is Met page of our website.